like me, like it was OD, man. It was OD. I used to fucking practice every single day. I used to lab. I literally used to lab how to step every single character in the game. I also labbed everybody's frames, every character's frames in the game. So I learned I learned how to step every single character. I learned all the frames, especially on the popular moves too. Good games, bro. I also learned, honestly, another thing is too, is that you have to, like I said, man, you have to really like watch your match videos and see the key moves that people block against your character. Also watch match videos of people that use your character too. One of the weirdest things that I used to do that a lot of people probably don't do when it comes to labbing and tekken that I'll advise any of you guys to do. This may sound weird, but you know what's something that could get you better at the game? Is to actually lab your own character. Because once you lab your own character, you tend to see your character's weaknesses and shit. And then you tend to see like shit that you shouldn't do. And you also, by labbing your character, you also learn tactics against your character that other people are going to use. So honestly, I used to lab Lee all the fucking time. And I used to lab anti-Lee shit all the time. And then by doing that, I came up with shit to be able to deal with the anti-Lee shit that people were doing to me. You get what I'm saying? So labbing your main character is actually really good. Just so you can see what works and what doesn't work. Because honestly, if some shit that you do with your main character doesn't work on you, it's probably not going to work on a top level player. It's not. But if you figure out something with your character that actually works on you, then it's probably going to work on a high level player. So you just got to figure out, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'll give you an example. The grade A1 shit that Elite players used to do and I used to do when I first started playing Tekken is this. EF1 down 3. That's like the worst shit any Elite player could do, right? Because I said that, you know, now you can step it. But before, it's like people used to do it just to get the counter hit, right? Other than Magic 4 and shit. But most people, they'll just duck, right? Because they know the pattern, right? They'll be like, okay, if he does that, he's always going to do down 3, right? And then down 3 is launch punishable, right? So they'll just block and you'll just backdash and block that shit and launch you, right? That's why it's good to know the key moves that your opponent has. Let's say somebody's scouting you doing down 3 after the down forward one, right? You can do something like this, right? You see? See now, you see they're scouting my down 3 and now they're getting hit by it, right? But that's because you're hiding the move, right? I honestly don't know what the fuck to do. Fuck this game. Nah, alright, cool. Now, you know, man. Like I said, man, your main weakness is you overextend, man. You don't have no patience, bro. You have to wait to see what your opponent's gonna do before you know. You honestly, right, I'm be real with you. Right, you're not bad, but I think you play tournament style. Like you try to like maul your you try to maul your opponent and not let your opponent do anything, right? But that style is good for 2 out of 3, right? The issue is that you be playing people like me in a long set, right? And like that style is only really good for tournament. I feel like your play style is a good tournament style because you try to run over people. The way you play is kind of like what I would suggest somebody to play like in a tournament. Because in a tournament you only got 2 games, right? 2 games is not really enough to really fucking download somebody, right? So most of the time people just try to run through somebody in a tournament. And you know, they just do their best flowchart and see what happens, right? That's kind of how you play, right? But your weakness is that that's all you do. Like, that's like you always do that. No matter if you get downloaded, you still do it, right? You gotta be able to like switch it up and change it sometimes, right? But normally your play style is good for tournament. Because you're not really trying to like see what somebody's doing. You're just trying to like get rid of them, right? Which is good for tournament. But it's like, I know you play like that. So it's like, it's going to be rough for you. I think your style will only work against somebody that doesn't really play against you too much. Because they're not going to expect you to do that shit. And you're probably going to run through them, right? But if somebody knows how you play all day, they probably just going to just play keep out and block. And that shit pretty much fucks your whole game up. Because a lot of your game has to do with like you trying to get somebody to like with a move and then you kempo them, or them running into some shit, right? I kind of feel like somebody just plays keep out and stands there. Like, you don't really know what to do when somebody plays defensive. Like, you just start spamming down back threes and down twos, so people just start ducking on you all day. Because I feel like offensively, you need work. You need to learn how to pressure with mids better. You don't pressure with mids enough. Also, you don't do enough homing moves. So it's pretty easy for somebody to sidewalk you. Because it's like, it's kind of common knowledge, right? If somebody makes you block a DF1, you're probably going to retaliate with something. But in general, man, you just want to see what works and what doesn't work with your character, right? I'll give you another example. Let's say somebody with Lee does some shit like, let me see some shit. Let me think of some shit. Let's say a Elite player always does down 3 on hit, and they do this, right? You know you can do this, right? You see? You see that shit, right? So stuff like that is good to know, right? That's like specific leash shit, right? So you know that somebody could just sidewalk you, right? Or let's say this is a special that people like to do, right? People like to do this, right? Wait, let me do something better. You see how people people laugh this shit, right? Because people do this all the time, right? You know about this setup, right? Raccoon does it too. He does 1-2 and then he ducks and launches, right? Or you can do 1-2 misstep and then duck, right? Well, other characters, they'll just do that, right? So that's good to laugh. That's an anti-elite shit that everybody does, right? With Steve, he does duck. Like, Steve will do duck 2 and then go under the high and then, you know what I'm saying? So let's say somebody does that, right? The counter to that is Hitman 2, right? I'll show you, right? See? That's the counter to it. So, like, shit like that is good to know. You know what I'm saying? That's why it's good to lab your own character to see what works and what doesn't, right? Is dick jab good against Hitman? Not really, because, like, Hitman, you could crouch cancel, right? So if somebody does dick jabs a lot, you could just do down 3 into low parry. And pretty much, like, take them to the wall every single time they do that. So it's good to know your shit, man. It's really good to know your shit. When to swing and when not to swing, right? You guys have any other questions? That's why I said, man, the best thing to do in a fighting game, especially Tekken, if you want to be one of the best players, bro, you have to know all the characters. Thanks for the resub, Sherm. You have to know the character's frames, bro. So if you never played a player before, you can adapt faster in the match by knowing the frames of the moves that he's throwing at you. Like, you know, like taking it easy in the match. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's say example. You make somebody block GF1, you block, right? Stand 3, keep out, you block, right? Safe on block. You're doing safe shit, right? You know, you taking your time, doing a little safe shit here and there, right? Here and there, taking the safe shit. And as you slow down the pace of the match, right? You get to figure out what they're doing because they start doing shit, right? Like just see how they block, like, you know, make them block that. You know what I'm saying? See how he reacts to it. Let's see if he doesn't launch her afterwards. Maybe he likes to dash in afterwards. You have to take data in a match, man. That's why it's good to slow down a match just to see. Because some people try to rush a match, but what you want to do to be able to analyze the shit in a 2 out of 3 setting is that you want to slow it down. You want to make them block shit, right? And see how they react to the shit. And if you know your character's frame, your opponent's frames, and you know how to sidestep shit, that shit makes it a little bit easier to adapt, right? Especially if you never played somebody before. You get what I'm saying? Like if you play a Fang and he does down forward 1 into 1-2, you know the sidestep right. And then you launch him. That takes away one thing. You know what I'm saying? So it's good. That's why it's really good to know how to step in your matchups and knowing when to backdash cancel and shit, right? After certain shit, right? Because there's a lot of shit to this game, man. Like, people think this shit is easy to play. This shit is not easy to play, man. If you play this shit at the highest level, this shit is kind of big brain, this game. This shit is not. This shit is scrubby to an extent. I don't know if you noticed. Y'all know down back 3+4 with Lee, it changes frames depending on how you block it, right? You know, if you block it like this, it's -13, right? You block it up close like this. But if I backdash from a distance, you see it's -12. You see? You see the frames change, right? Did you guys know that about the move? There's certain moves like that in the game. Depending on the spacing, it changes the frames. See? Up close, -13. From a distance, -12. So there's a lot of shit like that you gotta know. You have to learn the character on the spot. Yeah, that's why you gotta. That's why it's good to lab, man. It's good to lab, man, so you could be able to adapt to some shit. Okay, I'll show you a mind game. Let's say you do it. I'll show you a mind game right now. Hold up, let me take this on. Alright, I'm gonna do this, right? Let's say you do this into this, right? See how they stack, right? See? You gotta know. Let's say you do. Now, elite players do that. See that, right? Switch it up. See? See? Adapt to their movement. Adapt to their movement. Adapt to what they do. Switch it up. 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 Sometimes not responding is a good response. Let's say I do DF1, right? Let's say the elite player you do DF1, right? And your opponent expects you to do. They expect you to do some shit like fucking 444, right? By doing nothing, see, nothing came out, right? You're safe, right? They thought something was coming out. Because you're not gonna be able to guess every single button they do, right? That's why it's good just to make people block shit, right? Let's say you play somebody and they constantly sidewalking and ducking to block your low, right? See, clap, right? See, y'all understand, right? That's why I'm trying to tell y'all guys that it's good to just to get data as the match goes on, right? Let's say you play somebody, right, and you do back four on block, and they always doing some slow ass shit, right? Like they doing standing three or some shit, right? Some 14 frame. You see, you get the counter hit. That's data. But like, don't go for it without knowing what your opponent's gonna do, right? Because that's flow chart. You want to get data as the match goes on. Don't always press after shit. Just wait, hit. You know what I'm saying? And just adapt. Because most people, they're gonna step to your weak side, right? So let's say you do this, right? And somebody step into your weak side, right? They start stepping down or some shit, right? You can do shit like this, right? See? Or you could double dash, right? Yeah, mix up your timers and responses, especially with cost tekken the same. Sometimes somebody will like, if you do this, they'll mash, right? Sometimes people will mash, right? They'll mash, right? So you get a whip punish, you get what I'm saying? That's why it's good to know what your opponent's gonna do, right? I'll give you an example. Sometimes you see how I do 4-4-3 in the Magic 4? The reason why is because if you always know somebody's gonna run up and do something, you get Magic 4, right? That's what any keep on move. That's how spacing works. See? Because I know he's gonna run in and do something. To counter that, you backdash and then whip punish him. You see what I'm saying? That's why it's good to do single strikes to see how your opponent's reacting to your keep out. Is he moving forward? Is he backdashing? Is he swinging afterwards? You get what I'm saying? Or if somebody do this, right? And you know somebody, you make them blocking up standing threes, right? And you notice they always doing like down three afterwards, right? You get the hitman boys, right? And then you can hitman two them, right? See? And you get free hitman two if you notice they always mashing down three afterwards, right? If sucks that keep out, the ice keep out is fine. You just gotta mix it up. But that's all I can really tell you for tips like that. Pretty much just keep mixing up your timing and don't always go for the same 50-50s all the time. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like you're not gonna be able to guess right when somebody's on a duck or stand there in Tekken. So just keep mixing it up, and that's all I can tell you guys, man. I hope y'all enjoyed this advice and shit. I'll probably upload this segment. You can ask me one more question. Actually, anybody can ask me a question. Go ahead, ask me questions. I'm down to fucking help anybody. Ask me whatever. Yeah, just let me know what y'all need, man. I'm down to help anybody, man. Any questions y'all got about Tekken? Like, any trouble y'all have against certain opponents? How do you officially lab a character you never fought? Honestly, bro, I just go through the whole move list. Like, the whole fucking move list. What Law supposed to do against Lee? You gotta lab that shit, brother. Alright, let's give you an example. Let's give you an example, right? You know how Zayu plays? You gotta look at their key moves too, right? You gotta look at their key moves and learn what to step, right? Let's say, you know, you play Zayu play, right? It was a jab and a down forward one, right? The jab and a down forward one, right? Alright, look. See? Because I know how to step it, right? So I get a free launcher every time she does BF1. Because I know she's going to mash it and I'm going to get a free launch. You see? So stuff like that is good to lab, right? I'll give you another example. Alright, let's say she goes, wait. Let's say she goes in the AMP, right? Actually, I did the wrong move. See this? Yeah, I know about that, right? So you can step it, right? See? I get a full combo, right? You can actually, if you time it right, you actually get a full hop kick combo. See? I got a full launcher. You see that bootleg shit? A lot of people don't know that. You know how I know that? By labbing. See? I got a full launch, right? That's why it's good to practice, man. In practice mode, you can learn all types of shit. Yeah, you can time the step. I would just sidewalk every time she's in that. Every time she's in AOP, or you can just hit her out of it. Alright, let's see if she does this, right? You know how they always do that? See that? Both sides, actually. See that? But you want to step this way, though. You actually step that shit both ways. But it's better to start step left. You gotta wait till that shit comes out, though. Because if you sidewalk before it comes out, it's gonna hit you. Or this way, yeah. That way. Yeah, so stuff like that, man. It's good. It's good, man, to know like how to deal with shit. See that? That works too. See? Sauce of the whole string and magic for the last hit. So that's kind of how I lab. I tend to see what moves is on hit. I'll give you an example. Want to see something? See what I'm doing? See that shit, right? You see? I'm giving y'all some good ass shit, man. Yeah, man, just practice. Learn, you know, when to step and shit like that. And you good to go. But I'm kind of tired, man. I'm be done with my stream, though. Any other questions before I stop? last 30 minutes. I'll probably upload the whole shit. It's all good, alright. So I'm gonna host one of my friends, man. You said 133. What about it? How to do it? You just do the shit slow, man. Just tap it, right? Just tap it, right? Don't matter. You have to press jab. Do the first two hits is the slow ones. As long as you do the first two buttons slow, the rest is like 3-3-3. See? Just do it first. What you want, Raccoon? What up? So just like this, see? See that? See that? Yeah, I know about that already, Raccoon. I don't do it all the time because it's online, right? Yeah, but that's about it, man. Yep. Thanks for watching, everybody. I hope everybody has a good night.